Hey, John here. Here's liquor day number 153. This is a Mixolydian flat 6 shred run. As usual, I'm going to play it once slowly and then break it down. During the breakdown, I'm going to share some practice advice you can apply to this one and pretty much anything else you're practicing. If you want the tabs, you have a link down in the description. And we're going to start here on the 18th fret of the high E string. Alright, so it's based on the Mixolydian flat 6 scale, and that's the fifth mode of the melodic minor scale. And in this case, we happen to be in D, Mixolydian flat 6, which happens to be the same notes as G melodic minor. But we hear it from the root note of D, so we basically have a Mixolydian scale, which is like a major scale with a flat 7. But we also flat the 6. We get this very bittersweet kind of sound. So it's a really cool sound, and if you haven't played around with it before, this is a perfect opportunity. So one thing you could do for practice would be to turn on a drone, just a low ringing note, and then play a Mixolydian scale, and then find the 6th note and flat that, and then you'll get this sound. And especially the interplay here between half steps, where the sound lies. It's a very expressive scale, in my opinion. Anyway, back to the lick. We're gonna start here with this D major arpeggio. So I'm gonna show that first, and then just show the little tweak we do in the beginning to get that Mixolydian flat 6 sound. So we start here with this D open D chord arpeggio type thing. So the shape looks like this: 17, 14 on the high E string, 15, 14, 16, 17, and then 12. And the tweak we're gonna make here is that we're gonna start on that note, not do what I just did, but that's the note we're starting on. So half step above, it's almost like you're making a mistake. But that really sets your ear up for this sound. So, and then basically I'm just playing a repeated 3-string arpeggio here. So I'm starting with an upstroke, up, pull off, up, down, 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 and then we repeat that again, but we change the top note to the regular 5th of the chord, and that's going to be on the 17th fret. And then we're going to go down the whole arpeggio as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So going down here is going to be up, pull off, up, 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 down. And we go back up with a hammer. So we're on this note, resting on the D string, very important. And then I just hammer on to the 17th fret, and then I play down, 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 down. And I'll repeat that again. So, whoops. So after that point, we're done with the sweep picking, and we're on this note. And basically what we're doing now is just repeating these 3 notes, 14, 15, 17, twice, and leading up to the 18th fret here. And from here, we're gonna go down in this descending 6s type of sequence. So the scale shape, I show that first, and then you can just apply the sequence. And really, you should know these scales. I really think that's why you learn scales, because then you get away from this bingo guitar where I call out fret numbers, and you can be like, oh, okay, here's the scale shape, and I can apply the sequence. So that's a good goal to strive for, because that will speed everything up a lot. Anyway, enough lecturing. So we have 18, 17, 15 on the high E string, And then we're on the dots here, 19, 17, 15. And then we go to 17, 15, 14. And then the final string here in this run is going to be 17, 16, 14. And then we shift down to the D note here. All right, and the sequence then is just descending sixes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1. If you look at the notation though, I notated the last beat as a quintuplet, and that's sort of to imply that I'm slowing down a slight bit to land on the beat here. But that's also just to make it more readable instead of just ending on the last 16-note triplet, which is kind of weird. But very influenced by Yngwie and Key Marcello, and both those players, they tend to play a lot of rubato, meaning you can speed up and slow down in a phrase, and then you just try to hit a downbeat instead of being, very, super subdivided all the time, where it's like, yes, it has to be 6 notes per beat, and then it has to be 8 notes per beat, and then it has to be X amount of notes per beat. Instead, it can be a bit more organic than that. So if you're wondering why that group of 5 is there. So that said, let's just play it once more from the beginning. And that's basically it for this one. Practice-wise, just find whatever doesn't work for you, basically. And a good way to find that is to learn the lick as is, and then speed it up with a metronome, which I don't think is a great way to increase your overall speed, because it's built on accuracy. So the more good reps you do at whatever tempo will raise your top tempo automatically. But for finding the actual problem areas, I think it's a great idea to use a metronome, and also to work on your timing. So learn something, play it at 50 BPMs. If you can do it there, great. Move it up to 60 BPMs. Still works. You keep on going until you reach a tempo where you start to screw things up, and it's going to be quite clear where in the lick that is. And it might be one section, or it might be a few different sections, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you don't sit there and work on things that you already can play at a higher tempo. Because if a certain section of this lick, you can play it at, let's say the last picking run, you're really comfortable with that at, 120 BPMs. It makes zero sense for you to spend time on that. Instead, work on the sweep picking part, for example, or the transition to the picking part, wherever it might be. And if you work on that, your overall playing will improve much faster. So really try to use the metronome in that way instead, to basically have it as something that makes everything even, so you can actually compare and see where your actual problems lie. Because if you can fix those, like I said, you will improve much faster. Alright, if you made it this far, I assume you really like what I do here. If you do that, I would really appreciate it if you can comment on this video and like it, because it really helps the channel grow. And the more I can spend time on making videos, the happier you should be if you watch this far. So thank you for doing that, and see you in the next video.